The Sullivan family's neighbors were stunned as these details trickled out. People who had once prayed alongside Daniel, who had held candles at vigils for Emma and Lily, now whispered in disbelief. How could a father betray his own children? How could he stand in front of cameras, holding their photos, and lie through his teeth? Candlelight vigils transformed into quiet gatherings of fear, confusion, and anger. Rebecca Martinez stopped appearing in public altogether, the weight of betrayal crushing her spirit. She couldn't bear the thought that the man she once trusted might be responsible for the disappearance of her daughters. Then came the moment that broke the case wide open. A hiker, walking near the industrial site by the river, stumbled across something half buried in the mud, a small, pink boot. It was caked in dirt and bent slightly at the sole, but it matched the exact description of what Emma had been wearing the night she disappeared. The discovery chilled Detective Chen to the bone. She knew instantly that this was no longer just a missing person search. This was the hunt for the truth behind a nightmare that someone had deliberately created. The boot was rushed to forensic testing. Mud and plant residue on it revealed that the area around the site had not been disturbed for weeks, meaning Emma and Lily had likely been there on the very night they vanished. Search dogs were brought in, and they picked up a faint trail leading deeper into the abandoned property. But the trail ended abruptly near the waterline. Had Daniel led them there to hide something? Or worse, to ensure they would never return? When Chen delivered the news about the boot to Rebecca, the mother collapsed into tears. She clutched Emma's favorite stuffed elephant to her chest and whispered, "That's Emma's. That's her boot. I told her I'd always keep her safe." And now, her voice broke, shattering the silence in the room. Help us seek justice for Emma and Lily by subscribing and sharing the story. If you're as determined to find the truth as I am, subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because in Part 5, we're going to expose what Daniel did next, and it will leave you shaken to your core. What do you think Daniel's true plan was that night? Let me know in the comments. This story isn't over. Subscribe so you're here when we expose the full truth in Part 5. The room was silent, so silent that Detective Sarah Chin could hear the faint buzz of the overhead fluorescent light, a sound that only made the weight of what she was seeing feel heavier. She sat motionless, her hands flat against the cold steel of the evidence table, her gaze locked on the photograph spread out before her. It wasn't just another piece of evidence. It was a window into the truth, a haunting truth that had finally stepped out of the shadows and confirmed her worst fear. Daniel Sullivan wasn't simply lying. No, this was far darker. He had orchestrated everything with chilling precision. Every word, every tear, every plea to the cameras, it was all an act. The photograph told a story he could no longer deny. It was grainy and blurred at the edges, but the details that mattered were unmistakable. The photo, captured by a store security camera the night Emma and Lily vanished, showed the girls holding hands, their small frames illuminated under a pale streetlight. But behind them, reflected in the store's glass window, was the shadowy outline of Daniel Sullivan himself. His face, faint but recognizable, hovered like a ghost in the background. He wasn't frantically searching for his daughters that night, as he claimed to the world. He was with them, calm and deliberate, guiding them into the darkness, into whatever fate awaited them. If you're ready to uncover the shocking truth with me, hit that subscribe button right now, because what I'm about to reveal will shake everything you thought you knew about the Sullivan case. This is not just another missing person story. This is a story of deception, betrayal, and two innocent little girls who trusted the one person they should never have trusted. In Part 3, we ended with the explosive revelation of Mrs. Patterson's testimony. Her words painted a chilling image. Daniel, late at night, walking with Emma and Lily when everyone believed they were safe in their beds. Her account, paired with the footage retrieved from a local store's camera, told a story that was impossible to ignore. And now, with this newly discovered photograph, Detective Chen had the final puzzle piece she needed to corner Daniel. The question was no longer whether Daniel was lying. The question was why. Why would a father betray his own children? Why would he lead them into the night and never bring them home? Daniel's story had always been too perfect, too clean. From the very beginning, his version of events was rehearsed, almost like a script. The 911 call he placed that morning was oddly composed. He described the back window as left open, almost as if inviting suspicion toward a phantom intruder. His voice on that call was firm, calm, and only broke when he mentioned his daughter's names. And then there were his media appearances, the practiced tears, the desperate pleas, the way he told the cameras, "I just want my girls home." To many, it sounded heartfelt. But to Chun, and now to the growing number of people who saw through him, there was always something hollow in his eyes. Now, with this reflection captured forever in the photograph, every piece of his alibi collapsed like a house of cards tumbling in slow motion. Detective Chun called in her partner, Officer Rodriguez, a seasoned investigator with a sharp eye for detail. She spread the photo out on the table between them and pointed to the faint silhouette in the glass. "Look closely," she said, her voice low and firm. "That's him. It's Daniel. And he's not panicked, he's calm. Look at his posture. He's leading them somewhere. Somewhere they never came back from." Rodriguez leaned in, squinting at the grainy reflection. He didn't speak for several moments, the weight of what they were seeing hanging heavy in the air. "This changes everything," he finally muttered. "Everything." The question was, where? Where did Daniel take Emma and Lily that night? The police retraced Daniel's movements on the night of October 13th, combing through every second of his phone's location data and surveillance footage from nearby streets. His phone records revealed a strange and unsettling pattern. Between 11:30 and midnight, Daniel's car pinged cell towers several miles north of town, near an abandoned industrial site by the river, a place the locals avoided after dark. It was a place where time stood still, where rusted metal structures cast long, eerie shadows under the moonlight. Why would a father take his young daughters there, just hours before calling the police to report them missing? As the investigation deepened, Daniel's carefully constructed facade began to crack. He had built his public image on being the grieving, desperate father, but behind closed doors, people who knew him began to tell a different story. Neighbors described Daniel as controlling, even volatile. One neighbor recalled hearing shouting from the Sullivan house just weeks before the girls vanished. It wasn't just regular family arguments, the neighbor told police. There is something darker in his tone, something mean. Rebecca Martinez, the twins' mother, painted an even more disturbing picture. During her interviews with the police, she revealed Daniel's increasingly erratic behavior in the weeks leading up to the disappearance. Her voice trembled as she recalled his words. "He kept saying they'd be better off without the chaos," she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. "But I never thought he meant this." If this story is gripping you the way it's gripping me, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. The evidence we're about to uncover will shock you, and I want you with me for every single revelation. Let me know in the comments what you think Daniel's true motive could be, because I believe what we're seeing here goes deeper than any of us imagined. Then came another layer of horror, Daniel's financial troubles. They had started to surface during the investigation like rot creeping out from beneath the floorboards. The divorce had drained him emotionally and financially. He was behind on mortgage payments. His carpentry business, a small shop he'd once been proud of, was failing. He was cornered, and when cornered, Daniel seemed to have grown desperate. But nothing could have prepared Detective Chun for what she uncovered next, a life insurance policy taken out on the twins, just weeks before they vanished. The payout? Enormous. Too enormous to ignore. Could Daniel have done the unthinkable for money? Chun wanted to reject the idea outright. No father could look into the eyes of his children and see dollar signs. But the evidence was mounting, and the more she learned, the more it seemed that this wasn't just about money. This was about power, about control. Daniel's need to dominate his family had spiraled into something monstrous, something no one could have imagined. As Chun pieced together Daniel's last known movements with Emma and Lily, another chilling clue emerged. A convenience store clerk stepped forward with a statement that made her blood run cold. "I saw him that night," the clerk said, her voice shaking. "He bought duct tape, rope, and a flashlight. I thought maybe he was working late at home, but now I can't stop thinking about it." This evidence changes everything. Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next. If this revelation is affecting you like it's affecting me, please subscribe to help us honor Emma and Lily, because the truth we're uncovering demands justice.